She abandoned her husband and twin babies, not knowing those children would one day become billionaires. Today's story will teach you the power of never giving up on your children, no matter how hard life gets. Stay with me until the end. You won't believe what happened. The twin boys cried loudly as their mother threw clothes into a bag. Her face was full of anger, like someone ready to fight the world. John, her husband, said gently, "The babies are crying. They need their mother." But Olivia answered coldly, "They are no longer my problem. I'm leaving you." She continued packing without looking at him. "Please don't go," John begged. "Stay for these innocent children." Olivia turned and snapped, "I didn't marry you to suffer. Since you can't give me the life I want, I'm done. Do whatever you want with the babies. I don't care if they live or die." She grabbed her bag and stormed out, slamming the door hard. Everything had been peaceful until John lost his job. Since then, Olivia has threatened to leave every day. She complained about their small room and simple food. John kept begging, not just because he loved her, but for their twin sons Mike and Tom, who were only 3 months old. John picked up the crying babies and rocked them gently. "I may not have money," he whispered, "but I promise I will be the best father in the world to you." Soon the boys fell asleep in his arms. Morning came with hunger and worry. John woke up with no food, no money, and 2 crying babies. But there was no time to feel sorry. He had to provide. He rented a wheelbarrow, strapped the babies to his chest, and went to the market to find work. He pushed heavy bags for people. Many stared. Some looked with pity and gave him some money for the babies. One old woman stopped him and said softly, "You're doing great." She pressed money into his hand. "This is for the babies." But not everyone was kind. One woman shouted, "When you were enjoying yourself, you didn't think of responsibility. Now suffer alone." John heard her, but he didn't care what people thought. Only his boys mattered. After a long day, John felt happy. He had made enough money to care for his sons. He bought milk powder and medicine, then went home grateful. Day after day, he worked with the twins tied to his chest. He had no one to help. His mother had died and he had no family. It was hard, but he never complained. One morning, an old neighbor named Mama Grace called out, "Let me watch the babies today. The sun is too hot for them." After thinking, John handed over his sons and left for work. Though relieved, his heart was restless. Those boys were his whole world. Mama Grace was poor but kind. She fed, bathed, and dressed the babies with love. When John returned, he found Mike and Tom giggling in her arms. From that day, Mama Grace helped whenever John worked. The twins grew up knowing their loving father and Mama Grace, who they called Grandma. The boys didn't attend expensive schools, but John worked hard to pay their fees and buy books. He taught them to be kind, respectful, and hardworking. At 18, Mike and Tom graduated high school. John was proud. They studied hard and both scored high marks on their university entrance exams, high enough to study medicine. One afternoon, the boys ran home excited, waving their test results. "Dad, we got into medical school," they shouted. John smiled and congratulated them. "My sons will be doctors," he said proudly, pretending to walk like a big man. They all laughed together. But later, alone in his room, John's smile faded. He had no money to send even one of them to university. He was completely broke. "All these years of hard work," he whispered to himself. "Now my sons have made it and I can't pay." He felt like drowning in shame. But then he clenched his fists. "No, I won't let money stop them. My sons must become doctors." Early the next morning, John walked to a rich man's house. He dropped to his knees. "Please, sir, take me as your servant. I'll do anything: wash clothes, cook food, clean. Just help me send my sons to university. I'll work like a slave until they graduate." But the rich man shook his head. "Training 2 medical students costs too much. I won't do it." John went to 5 more rich houses. Each time he begged on his knees. They all said no. Broken and tired, John returned home. For 2 days he was quiet and sad. Finally, he called his sons into his room. "My boys," he said softly, "I'm sorry I failed you. I promised to send you anywhere to study, but I don't have money for university." His voice cracked as he tried not to cry. Tom stood up and said gently, "Dad, there's nothing to forgive. We know you love us." Mike added. Whether we go to university or not, we love you always. They hugged their father tightly. That night, John knelt by his bed and cried to God. Please help me, he whispered. I have nothing, but you have everything. My boys deserve this chance. Please, Lord, help me. Mike and Tom heard everything through the thin walls. It broke their hearts. Their father had never cried, never complained. But tonight he was weeping because of them. The next day, the boys went to the university and delayed their admission for 1 year. They found jobs at a small restaurant, greeting customers and serving food with smiles. Some customers gave good tips, and the boys saved every penny. After 7 months of hard work and prayer, Mike and Tom opened their own small restaurant. It wasn't big, but it was clean and beautiful. They cooked delicious food and treated every customer like family. They used social media to advertise, and soon customers came in large numbers. But here's where our story takes an amazing turn that will make you smile. One evening after a long day, Mike was cleaning tables when he found a black briefcase under a chair. Look, Tom, he said. Someone forgot this. They opened it carefully and froze. Inside were important documents and thick piles of American dollars. Tom's eyes widened. This person must be very rich. They took it home and showed their father. John nodded. You did right. The owner will come looking for it. The next morning, they returned to the restaurant with the briefcase. A rich-looking man stood by a shiny car, looking worried. Did you see a black briefcase? He asked. Yes, Mike replied, handing it over. The man looked relieved, took the briefcase, got in his car, and drove off without a word. Tom joked. He should have given us some of those dollars. Mike laughed. So now you want dollars? I'll call you Mr. Dollars. They both laughed and went to work. Around noon, the same man returned. He wasn't in a rush this time. He smiled at Mike and Tom. I'm Mr. David, he said. The documents in that briefcase were worth millions. You saved my family business. I want to reward your honesty. He didn't give them money. Instead, he took them to a large, beautiful building. This is yours, he said. Use it for your restaurant. The documents you saved were more valuable than all the money. You've earned this. Mike and Tom stood shocked. They couldn't believe it. With tears of joy, they ran to find their father at the market. When they reached John, who was drinking a cool drink by his wheelbarrow, they threw their arms around him. People stared, amazed at these well-dressed young men hugging the poor worker. John laughed. Sit, let me buy you drinks. What's this surprise? Tom's voice rang with excitement. It's ours, Dad. The man gave us a huge building for our restaurant. Tears of happiness filled John's eyes. That evening, Mike and Tom sat with their father. Dad, it's time to stop pushing the wheelbarrow, Mike said firmly. You're getting older. This hard work is for younger men. Tom nodded. We've got this now. You've given us everything. Time for you to rest. John saw the determination in their eyes. With pride swelling in his heart, he agreed to retire that day. Mr. David had furnished the building with new chairs, tables, and equipment. Mike and Tom put their hearts into making it perfect. Their restaurant became famous for delicious food and warm hospitality. Customers flocked in, enjoying both the meals and the welcoming atmosphere. The business became a symbol of hope and hard work paying off. The boys took care of their father like a king. His tired hands no longer carried heavy loads. Instead, he enjoyed the fruits of their labor, knowing his sacrifices had led them here. They also remembered Mama Grace, who had helped when they were babies. She was old and often sick, but had been their pillar of support. Mike and Tom renovated her house, sent her money monthly, and paid her hospital bills. They never forgot those who helped them. One afternoon, a tired-looking woman walked into the restaurant asking for work. I can do anything, she begged. Wash dishes, clean floors, serve food. Please, I need work. Though they didn't need workers, Mike and Tom felt sorry for her and gave her a job washing dishes. The next day, John came to visit his sons. Walking into the kitchen, he saw the woman and froze. He stepped back quietly, his heart heavy with memories. He found his sons and sat them down. Do you know your new dishwasher? No, Dad, they replied, puzzled. Why? He cleared his throat. That woman is Olivia, your mother. Tom's eyes widened. What? Our mother? Yes. After she left, I destroyed every picture of her. The pain was too much. That's why you've never seen her face. They walked into the kitchen. When Olivia saw John, her face went white with shock. John took a deep breath. The men who employed you, they are your sons. Olivia's face drained of color. I am so sorry, she whispered, tears flowing. I am so sorry, my sons. Mike's face hardened with anger. You have to leave, he said firmly, handing her money. This is more than you worked for. Go. I don't know you. My mother is Mama Grace, not you. Tom wrapped his arms around his brother. I know you're hurting, Mike, and so am I. But please don't send her away. She needs help. Mike's tears started flowing. This woman left us. She went her way while we suffered with Dad. The pain poured out in sobs. But slowly he began to calm down. That evening, John sat with his sons. The conversation was hard, but in the end, their hearts softened. They forgave Olivia, their mother, though it wasn't easy. They gave Olivia a new role as supervisor, hoping she had changed. At first, she seemed kind and responsible, but over time something changed. Olivia's temper flared. She became sharp and commanding, bullying the workers and snapping at them for small mistakes. The restaurant's warm atmosphere grew tense. Workers avoided her, and customers noticed the change. Slowly, business began to drop. The joy that once filled the place was replaced by unease. Mike and Tom sat their mother down one evening. Your attitude is destroying what we built, Mike said calmly. But Olivia was defiant. I'm your mother. I brought you into this world. You can't tell me what to do. Where's your lazy father who just sits at home while you give him everything? All you give me is salary. Mike's face darkened. I'll have a problem with you if you speak badly about our father again. You don't love me, Olivia shot back bitterly. You're just managing me here. After much discussion with their father, Mike and Tom made a decision. They told Olivia she could no longer work in the restaurant. Her reaction was swift and angry. I know it's your stupid father who poisoned your minds, she yelled. Despite the pain, the twins didn't leave her without support. They opened a small shop for her, allowing her to support herself. With Olivia gone, the restaurant atmosphere improved and business boomed. Word spread about the warm service and delicious food. Soon Mike and Tom expanded, opening branches across the country. Their hard work had paid off beyond their dreams. Now that money wasn't a problem, they talked about their old dream of becoming doctors. Tom spoke first. The fire is no longer in me. I love our business. He looked around proudly at what they built. Mike nodded. This business is God's answer to Dad's prayers. I don't want to be a doctor anymore either. I love this. They had found their true calling not in medicine, but in serving others through their business. As time passed, both brothers found love and prepared to marry. They worried about leaving their father alone. One afternoon they sat with John. Father, we found you a good woman, Mike began. She works in our restaurant and has been kind to us. Her husband died and she has 2 children. If you marry her, we'll treat her kids like our younger siblings. After 2 days of thought, John agreed. He met Ruth, the woman they spoke of, and found her genuine and kind-hearted. The wedding was set for the same day as the brothers. The church filled with love and joy as John, Mike, and Tom all got married. Mama Grace stood proudly as the chief mother, symbolizing their family's love and unity. It was a day of new beginnings, not just for the boys but for their father too. And that is how a father who refused to give up on his children saw them rise from poverty to prosperity. While their mother abandoned them in their darkest hour, their father's love and sacrifice led them to incredible success. Never give up on your children no matter how hard life gets. Love, sacrifice, and determination will always pay off in the end. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. Hit that bell icon so you never miss our latest stories. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we have coming next. Check out our other incredible stories in the recommended videos. Each one carries powerful lessons that will inspire and motivate you. Thank you for watching, and remember, never give up on those you love.